All right, welcome back to another daily dose of crypto airdrop alpha. So let's not waste any time and hop right in, starting with Pendle and EtherFi. Because just the other day, EtherFi announced that ETH, or liquid restaked ETH, which earns you points for the EtherFi airdrop as well as the EigenLayer airdrop, is now available on L2, on Arbitrum. And so if you want to farm these two airdrops but save a massive amount in gas fees, it's actually quite simple, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. So when you navigate to the Pendle Finance page for liquid restaking tokens, you'll notice that there's now two options for ETH. One is on mainnet and one is on Arbitrum. So if you want to click on this right here, there's three options. You can basically give up all of the staking and restaking yield and just maximize your points for EigenLayer and for EtherFi. You can get a mixture of both, or you can get a literal fixed yield of almost 40% if you give up all your points. So regardless of which one you choose, the process for actually making a deposit is quite simple. You're just going to click on the button, and then you can actually use any token. You don't need to have wrapped ETH or ETH on Arbitrum in order to do this. You can actually use ARB tokens, you can use ETH, or any of these other options that are available here on the list. So let's say that I wanted to swap some ARB for LP ETH and YT ETH. I could literally do that right here. And so this is using the tokens I already have on L2. You don't actually need to go and bridge ETH yourself. You can just use whatever tokens you have and then zap into the ETH on Arbitrum L2. So I know I've been getting quite a few comments of people below in my videos asking the best way to actually do this. And the answer is, don't try to actually mint ETH and then bridge it. You're going to spend way more money on gas fees than you need to. Just use whatever tokens you already have on the Arbitrum L2 and then zap into ETH on Arbitrum. Okay, next up, let's talk a little bit again about Dimension. So the metrics for this are just through the roof. The number of Dime tokens that are getting staked is absolutely insane. And there's one useful tool that I found that you might want to be aware of. So if you have your Dime tokens in an EVM wallet like MetaMask, and you want to actually see the transaction hashes, it doesn't really work, because if I go to my activity and click on one of these and open it up in a block explorer, I just get this page not found thing. So what you can do is actually use the dym.fyi blockchain explorer. And this is the block explorer for Dimension. And so instead of trying to open up in a block explorer from MetaMask, just copy a transaction ID of whatever transaction you want to check, and then paste it here into the blockchain explorer. And there you can actually see the details of the transaction. So this is me transferring 10 Dime to one of the recipients of my giveaway on Twitter and YouTube. So yeah, this is a useful tool if you want to actually, track your transactions on a Dimension network and you weren't previously aware of how to do that. All right, next up, let's talk a little bit about BERA Chain. They have this commemorative NFT on to celebrate the Lunar New Year, and they're calling it a red envelope mint for our Chinese community. Now, I am not Chinese, but you know for sure that I'm still gonna go ahead and mint this because it's completely permissionless. And so if you have been using the BERA Chain testnet and you have some honey tokens, which is free money, remember, because these testnet tokens have no actual value, well, then you can mint one of these red envelope NFTs. And this is another situation where holding the NFT may or may not have any actual relevance to the airdrop, but at a bare minimum, you're generating another transaction on the network, which is good for your wallet. And then if it actually ends up being worth something, you'll be glad that you minted it. All right, next up, let's talk again about the Pyth network. I showed you yesterday that there's a governance vote on right now for the Pyth DAO constitution. And so if you have staked Pyth and you haven't voted on that governance proposal because you missed yesterday's video, definitely make sure you do it. Go to the Pyth staking page, hit governance, and just cast a vote. But then again, on the topic of Pyth staking to earn airdrops, we've got an announcement today from the Mode network that they are powered by Pyth network and that they received 250,000 Pyth tokens as a retroactive airdrop. And would it not be cool if the Mode network also airdropped to Pyth stakers? We'll see what happens. We have so far only one actual legit announcement of an airdrop to Pyth stakers, which is for the Zero Lend platform. But I feel like that one won't actually be worth that much, and there could be a lot more opportunity out there. All right, next, let's talk about ST-TIA, which is liquid stake TIA from Stride. Literally this morning, I released a tutorial showing how you can actually mint it and then use that to qualify for not one, but at least 2 different airdrops. Well, now actually we have confirmation from Demex that you can deposit ST-TIA into a vault on Nitron. And so if you've staked TIA tokens for ST-TIA and you want to deposit them into into a Demex vault, you can now do so because the Stride STT vault is open and it's only reached about 23% capacity. So there's still plenty of space left there. So I've deposited some Milk Tia into a vault, and I may also throw some STT into it as well to earn some additional yield. All right, next up, let's talk about the meme land or the meme coin airdrop. I have never talked about this on the channel before, but I actually did participate in their social airdrop farming campaign a while back, and they just announced the results of their bot versus human test. And so you can now go and check to see whether or not they've determined if you're a human, if you farmed this airdrop, and if you did, obviously you're gonna be getting the actual airdrop. If you've been determined to be a bot accidentally or falsely, then there's an opportunity to appeal that as well. I believe you have 7 days to make an appeal. So I don't know if any of you guys actually participated in this. The meme coin itself is live, and they're doing another round of the airdrop to people that completed a bunch of social tasks a while ago. Speaking of meme coins, there was a token that was dropped to, I believe, 500,000 wallet addresses on the Base L2 network. It's called Own the Doge. Now, I am not endorsing this or saying that it's actually going to be worth anything or to go up, but the account for this is literally followed by Base official account, so I do think it's legit. Whether or not the token is actually going to be worth anything is another story. However, if you want to, you can check to see if you got an allocation on the Base network by copying the contract address and then importing it into your wallet on the Base network. So just make sure that you're selecting Base mainnet, go to tokens, import, paste in the contract address, and hit next, and then you'll be able to see the balance. So this wallet got 141 dog tokens. And if you want to sell it, you can use a DEX like LlamaSwap. This allocation here is worth literally 50 cents, but one of my other wallets got about $15 worth. Not much, but free money is free money. So you might as well check to see if you got it, and if you want to cash it out for a couple of bucks, lunch money, hey, why not? And then another app airdrop that we have some announcements for is ZK Lend. So the snapshot actually has not been taken yet for this. So they've launched this airdrop page here. They haven't actually outlined what the eligibility criteria are gonna be yet, but this is a DeFi platform on Starknet that you can use to lend and borrow assets, kind of similar to Nostra Finance. So if you want to farm this, it looks like there's still an opportunity. The airdrop is confirmed. The ticker symbol is ZEND. And the snapshot has not yet been taken. Okay, next up we have an announcement from Jumper, which is honestly probably the #1 bridge that I've used. It's not even really a bridge because you can actually use it to make swaps on the same chain as well. And I've been doing quite a decent amount of transaction volume on Jumper on a few wallets. And it looks like next week they're going to be offering incentives for people that bridge with some Lil Pudgy's NFTs. So more details to be announced soon, but I imagine that the number of bridge transactions that you make, as well as the value of those transactions, will probably influence your chances of winning one of these. And regardless, it's a good prompt to keep doing transactions because this is going to be one of the premier bridge or interoperability airdrops of 2024 for sure. Wormhole and Layer 0 may be bigger, but this is definitely coming in closely after that. And finally, I wanted to talk a little bit about the types of airdrops that I'm now actively farming and the types of airdrops that honestly I'm fading, because when you reach a certain point, you have to make a decision. You cannot literally farm it all. You don't have unlimited time, and you definitely don't have unlimited capital. And when it really boils down to it, I am much more in favor of farming airdrops that require me to put more money up front, but require less time commitment, because now that I'm running this channel, I have so many other things to do. I literally don't have the time to spam millions of transactions on Dmail network, for example, or to do all the trading on platforms like Tensor that it would require to keep moving up the leaderboard. And you have to pay active attention to it. And so if you're farming airdrops, I think you need to assess realistically what you're going to be able to do and what type of airdrop farmer you want to be. Because if you have tons of time and unlimited money, then sure, you can literally sit there and farm all of these trading platforms like Hyperliquid. You can trade NFTs on Tensor. You can spam a million messages on Dmail and try to max qualify for these. But if you have larger amounts of money but little time, then you can focus more on airdrops like EIGEN, where you literally just have to deposit capital and hold it there, or maybe on LP airdrops like Ambient, where you can just deposit into a liquidity pool and then that helps you qualify for the airdrop. Of course, there's obviously a spectrum and some room in between. I fall somewhere in the middle. I do still like to do some transactions on a regular basis, but I'm not really at the point where I want to be actively spamming transactions and trying to farm airdrops like Tensor, for example. So it means, yeah, I'm probably going to miss out mainly on this. I might get a tiny allocation, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. And you have to be willing to accept which approach you're going to take. Another approach, of course, is for people that have no capital and potentially lots of time. And if you find yourself in that situation, then definitely focus on the upcoming testnets like BERA chain, like Tyco. These are the types of airdrops where there may be millions of people farming them because it has such a limited barrier to entry. But if you really do have a lot of time, it's not that hard to make your wallet come in the top 1% or 5% if you just spam the right transactions and you know what to do. And since it costs literally zero money, all it takes is an investment of your time, then yeah, that's not a bad approach to farming airdrops. And then you can use the capital that you get after you hit a couple of testnet airdrops to then roll it over and to start farming airdrops that require more of an investment. Anyways, I thought I would just sort of give you my quick take on how I'm approaching farming airdrops and the types of airdrops that I focus more on rather than some of the others at this point. Anyways, that's it for today's alpha update. Hopefully you found this helpful as always, and see you later.